Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again today. People said that we're here for another episode of Rider Gush, episode 4. And you know, Rider Gush is a series that I do. Will be just gushing and talking about some of my favorite Kamen Riders. And today we are doing Kamen Rider Saber. Now, I know Saber is a very controversial series. A lot of people, you know, have their ifs and stuff about Kamen Rider Saber, but I really like Saber. And I'm just gonna do a short video on how much this series, my pros and cons of the series, but I really liked it, and that's why it's on Rider Gush, because it's one of my favorites, you know. But yeah, but before we get started, I want to say, hey, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Thank you for clicking the video. Thank you for all the notifications, all that good jazz. You guys let me know down in the comment section below who is your favorite Kamen Rider Saber rider. Who is your favorite, you know, form? Like, what are your favorite moments in Kamen Rider Saber? You let me know. But before we get started, we're gonna go through some of my favorite henshin sounds and transformations from Kamen Rider Saber, and then let's get started.
Primitive Dragon. Brave Dragon. Get. Lecca Batu. Emotional Dragon. 誇り3つの力を持つ真珠が今ここに。レッカバトー。愛情のドラゴン。勇気のドラゴン。誇り高きドラゴン。エモーショナルドラゴン。真珠合体。感情が溢れ出す。青剣クロスセイバー。ブレイブドラゴン。
Wasn't that lovely? But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comment section, what are your favorite like Saber forms or Saber henshins or stuff like that. Like, yeah, Saber had some very unique forms. Saber has some very unique forms, some unique combinations, and yeah, a lot of them were very busy. A lot of them were very busy and just, you know, just everywhere. But the overall aesthetic for a night, for like a night aesthetic, were I think a lot of them fit very well, especially with a lot of the themes that each rider had. What an overall like nights and stuff like that aesthetic, I think worked very well, especially with a lot of their like themes that they had. Like like some of them had a certain theme that they had, but overall everyone was a knight, and there were a lot of them. There were a lot of, like, Saber has a lot of writers. I mean, it's not Ryuki territory, but it had a lot of writers, and everybody was cool to an extent. Now, a con of this was there were a lot of episodes where a lot of the other writers were kind of just left out. Like you basically had a lot of times where you just focused on the main three, which was Saber, Blades, and Espada, and there were a lot of times you just focused on them two, and I'm just like, what is everybody else doing? I mean, there were times where you focused on Kenzan, but Kenzan had like his own like arc and things and stuff like that, where he was trying to go down this road or trying to change his mentality and things like that. And for a while, I hated that guy. I hated this dude. Like he gets a lot of he does gets a lot of hate in there. Like he has a lot of like Michi. He's up there with Michi. Like he has a lot of Michi, tendencies of Daichi and like stuff like that. Like writers who just went down this path of like, I'm jealous of you. I'm mad that you're getting stronger and I'm not. Like your ideologies, go past my own. Like it was a lot when it came down to Kenzan, and especially when you teamed up with the bad guys for a second to fight Toma. Like it was that bad. Like I like a lot of times, like we really didn't like Kenshin, and it took Disaster to get him. It took a monster that you're supposed to be fighting, that's a sworn enemy, for you to get down the path that you were supposed to get down. And he's still a jerk, but still, like he's not as big as a jerk. But overall, Saber was a really nice series for me. I really liked this series. I like looking forward to it. A lot of plot holes, a lot of things that did make sense, and you redeemed some characters that really didn't need redeeming. Like Storius, like I don't think he needed redeeming. I don't think he really needed like any type of redemption. That dude got on my nerves. Even though amazing writer form. Kamen Rider Storius is a very amazing form. Like this is Sephiroth if he was a writer. But overall, I really like Saber. Character wise, I feel like some other characters also should have got forms. Like Buster should have got another form. Slash should have got another form. Like these, like they were writers too. They were pivotal to the story at some points. It like I said before, it kind of felt like the story kind of left them out of a lot of important things, and all because they weren't strong enough, so they had to help out in their own other ways. And I was really expecting Buster and Slash to get their own forms, because Buster, he was a dad. It was cool. He was a cool, happy-go-lucky, like that older brother, father figure character. He still was a dad. Like it was cool. I liked everything really about him, to a degree. So it's like I really just felt like bro should have got another form. Slash should have got another form. That little arc where everyone betrayed Toma, like that was the arc that like did it for me, where it was just like you guys really are just gonna like betray homeboy just because of a prophecy. Like it did something to me. Like it made me feel like, man, I feel like I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but I feel like, man, you guys just said fluff it, especially Rentaro when it came down to the whole like, Toma's gonna become this, and he's not that kind of guy. Like look at him. Especially this is a guy that likes to read books. Like I don't like, but like for me it's screw books all day. But this guy was a guy like he just wanted to spread knowledge in books, and that was his whole motif. But other than that, like that arc really messed me up a lot. I don't know. And then when it came down to the things that were going on with Espada, he was going down these different paths too. Like one day we're friends, one day they're not friends. Like this whole prophecy thing of no matter what, like the universe is gonna be destroyed, like, or the planet is gonna be like gonna blow up. It was like, man, he did too much flip-flopping for me. Even though he is my favorite character, a lot of times when I have a favorite character, they do a lot of flip-flopping and they betray people and all the other crap. I was like, man, you gotta do something about this, man. Y'all gotta fix this. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, man, Saber, yes, it had its flaws and it had its plot holes, but the story came through together. It still had some questions that I needed answering by the end of the series, but other than that, like, I like Kamen Rider Saber. I do. I'm not the only person that does. I mean, either if a writer show does, like, you know, do bad or whatever, or it's one of those shows, there's always going to be somebody out there who freaking likes it, and this is going to be someone's favorite writer, like, just like me. Like, he's one of my favorite writers. I got writers above him. You'll see later on in this series, you'll see writers that are above Saber, but I do like Saber. It was really cool to watch every week, just to see, like, what's next, like, what are they gonna do in this story that'll really get me, like, super invested, because at first I was very invested. I'm thinking about maybe I'll actually, you know, rewatch the series and review this series episode by episode again. You know, like, I mean, those videos are kind of lost to time, so maybe I can just start over and do them again. But just like with a lot of these writers that are on this Rider Gush series, like, I'm thinking about rewatching. Same thing with the Sentai. Like, when I'm done with the writers, we'll get to the Sentai. We'll get to my favorite, you know, Sentai and things like that. But right now, we're just doing writers because this is primarily a Kamen Rider, you know, channel. But other than that, man, Kamen Rider Saber, it was a great series. It has had its flaws, just like every Rider series. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as Ghost, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Bad, I know. Gonna kill me in the comments for that, but hey. But yeah, guys, Kamen Rider Saber was a great show, man. I like the aesthetic of characters. I like a lot of character plot points and things like that. I did hate that a lot of characters got left out of things because they either weren't strong enough, or they weren't relevant to that sort of plot line that they were dealing with. Like, you have all these characters and you're really not doing that much with them unless it's like something that's like super pivotal. But you have all these characters and you really, like, you're not doing nothing with them. That felt weird to me. But yeah, and a lot of times, and also sometimes these characters didn't feel like they were friends. Like, we were comrades, we were colleagues, like we were all nights working together and stuff. But they didn't have that really big, super big, like, friend dynamic. I mean, the main three sort of did, especially with Saber and Espada. Like, they had that friend thing because they grew up together and things like that. You know, Rentado was also there too. Like, he was the third guy. But other than that, like, it felt weird. Like, it really didn't feel like these guys were friends. Like, they didn't have that build dynamic. They didn't have that Kamen Rider build dynamic where these guys were actually friends. Like, these guys were friends. They hung out together and things like that. But yeah, like, I knew that they were friends, but sometimes it didn't feel like it. It just felt like we were just teaming up because it was convenient and we have to do this because that's our job type thing. But other than that, yeah, I'll say it again. I love Kamen Rider Saber. I like the series a lot. I like the aesthetic. I like the themes. I like the aesthetic. I like the colors. I like the music. I just overall, I like the book theme. Cause that's something kind of new in Rider as well. I like the different combinations of, like, their different storybooks that they would do. I did like that. That was something different. Even though these books can be freaking huge and they just sit on your freaking belt like that, and it was cool, but it was huge. And the whole, like, my belt I'm pulling a weapon out of my belt type thing. I had to unsheath the sword, the henshin. Like, that was a cool concept. Like, I really like that concept. That was actually dope. But yeah, guys, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Rider Gush. Let me know all your pros and cons and stuff that you liked about Saber, stuff that you didn't like about Saber. You know, just let me know down there, and I'm gonna see you guys down there. Make sure you go down there, hit that subscribe button, share, comment, hit the notification bell, and I'm gonna see you guys next time for another episode of Rider Gush. In the next episode, we are doing Exade. We're gonna do Kamen Rider Exade. And I've been really looking forward to this one. That video is already in the works. But yeah, I'm gonna see you guys next time. And remember, stay Kenshin.